So as Normandie mentioned, so I'm CEO of Velvet Group. I spent the last 10 years in China, mainly advising company to work on their innovation strategy, their communication using all these digital platforms in the very bouillonning Chinese market. And 4 years ago, I created Velvet to specifically focus on the fashion and luxury brands to really use even more these tools to do their storytelling. And when you do that, when you work with a luxury brand, you develop some kind of obsession, specifically on social media, where actually social media is a art and science, and sometimes even more art than science. And the obsession is about precision. We need precision when we serve luxury brands, because we need to really target very precise groups, people who ultimately can eventually afford to buy the product of your clients. So even though you have to make the maximum person dream about the product, ultimately, if you want to convert, you need to be extremely precise, which is a real challenge on the social media sphere. When we started to work on how to get more precise, and we started to combine a lot of marketing approaches, we recently realized that this type of approach has a name, which is hyperlocal marketing. So I wanted to share with you this morning what is hyperlocal marketing. I don't know if some of you here heard about this word already? Yes, 1, 2, 3, okay. So let's talk about hyperlocal marketing. So Angelito mentioned just before, so all these campaigns that we feel are really not meeting their target, and all this waste of money. This is what I call usually the spray and pray. So we invest a lot of effort into creative campaign, the development of the asset, and finally maybe we won't meet the target. We'll totally miss the target, and when you look around you, probably you see many, and maybe the majority of the campaign missing the target. So hyperlocal marketing is just not about spray and pray. So what is it about? So it's a very simple concept. Actually, it's probably something that you know. It's like all these new trends, you rediscover something that you knew a bit in the past. So for doing hyperlocal marketing, you need to combine 4 kind of approaches. So the first one is to reach and to target small social groups, small communities, individuals, and not only people with a specific gender or type, but also a specific behavior, a specific lifestyle. The second element is that you will need to be very precise in terms of targeting, geolocalized marketing. And this is where actually we started to have tools that can help us to be extremely precise in terms of geography by targeting the communication or the experience you want to bring into a very limited area. Could be a zip code, could be 1 or 2 miles radius, a boutique, even like few meters. So this is how to really be precise in terms of location. The third element is how to be precise in terms of time window. So within 1 day, within 1 minute, real time. And the fourth element is most of the time our target is a moving target. It's not a static target. Moving target because we are working multi-devices, so it's very difficult to catch us. And in terms of traveling, if we're talking about Chinese and luxury, most of the clients usually are travelers. So probably you know all these terms, precision marketing, retargeting, location-based services, geo-marketing, geo-fencing, all of this you know, of course. But now you can forget all these words and replace by one, because if you do all of this, probably you do hyperlocal marketing. So I guess that actually some of you are already doing hyperlocal marketing. So hyperlocal marketing is, as I said, seems to be new, but probably it's rely on something which is come from older times. And remember that the first to think about hyperlocal marketing are probably the small owners of boutiques, the coffee shop, and they don't have so much money. They have to be very precise in the way they target their communication. And actually they were the first to use Twitter and Facebook and all the possibility to really push the limits of these tools to have extremely precise targeting. And Facebook and Twitter are actually starting to provide this kind of tools. I think hyperlocal marketing, the term actually starting to be used when Facebook starting to propose a 2 miles radius targeting, and then Twitter proposed a 1 mile radius targeting. So actually, it's old needs, and large brands or luxury brands are rediscovering what actually SMEs and small businesses were actually doing before. Where we have the game changing a bit more is when we have the power of new technologies helping us to achieve these goals. So data, of course. So if you want to have very precise geolocalization, very precise targeting of your profiles, customers, you need to collect a lot of information. You need to measure, you need to track, and you need to convert this information into insights so you can really have a sense of what you want to provide. Of course, at the epicenter of all of this is a smartphone, and especially in China, where smartphone is everything, it's the best platform to really focus the effort. And the third element, which is also very a game changer, is that the smartphone is not only an information tool, it's really now a service tool. So it's not only about being extremely precise, it's also about how we bring additional value, which is not just pushing some information, but providing actual service. So old needs, new technologies, and of course, new marketing approach. Basically, when we see around with our clients and what we do with our clients, we do less and less mass scale communication, mass scale campaign, and we do much more frequent activation. So we need to be extremely agile and to propose all the time new experiences. So let's see some illustration. So I choose this case. It's one of our clients. I don't know if there is some watch lover here in the room, but if there is, probably you know Roger Dubuis. Roger Dubuis is a very exclusive manufacturer from the Richemont Group. The price point, if you want to have the first product, the first level entry product, is probably 30k euro. And if you want to go further, probably you can add a zero, and you still have a lot of choice to consider in Roger Dubuis. So it's we're talking about exceptional product with a double tourbillon skeleton or this kind of things. But it's also a brand which is, unlike many luxury brands, they are very bold, they are very innovative, they want to try new things. And their clients are also a very bold person. So we had the best actually environment to try a new approach of doing marketing with this company. So the challenge, of course, we are talking about exclusivity, and internet's all about accessibility, is how we remain accessible when actually we are using platforms like WeChat, when you can address 800 million users, but actually you only need to meet a few of them. How to stay relevant also for this target audience, and how you can make your marketing extremely precise. The target audience, as you can imagine, so we are talking about Chinese, rich Chinese, mainly gentlemen, between 25 to 50, more 50 and over, and they are traveling a lot. The strategy that we apply, and you will see the last 6 months of activity, some cases of the last 6 months of activity, is really to go with smaller scale campaign we call more activation, social media activation, but with a very high frequency. A lot of experience-oriented communication, and not about pushing information. A lot of storytelling, of course, and the ultimate experience is always in the store, finally. So the approach is not to really or not to only bring a full digital experience, but how we can combine digital experience with offline experience at the boutique. So one of the first activation I'm going to share with you is called Daring Partner. The partner in that case is your watch. So how you can partner with your watch, and here the experience is very classic. Is HTML5 experience on WeChat, where actually you can. It's like Tinder, so you can choose between. Okay, I'm more like going to the sea when I have holidays, or I'm more about driving person, or I'm more I like fire, I like ice. So it's really it's a no-brainer activity. And then at the end of this experience, we'll propose a match, a partner, a watch from the catalog, and also we'll have an activity where the person will select. We also experience some racing activity with a partner of Roger Dubuis. There's a strong link with automotive and car. So what is important here is not really about the experience. It's how we bring this experience to the right person. And so we put a lot of attention about how to do it. What is new with the Chinese market is few months ago, actually we couldn't actually be very precise about the people we want to reach. So we started to have what we call the moment ads. So I guess you know all of this. This is a display that you have into your moment, into your feed. And the criteria that you had at your disposal to target the right person were very few. And WeChat has been adding new criteria. So I gave you some indication here about what you can do. So of course you have all the classic element of location, demographic, what kind of device you use, operating system, education level, marital status. So they can know all of this without having you telling to WeChat all of this information, but they can, by scratching the data to get all this information. And one of the most interesting things is that you also can categorize the audience by interest. So altogether there is 24 topic of interest, and there is sub-segment. So altogether you have over 200 segments that you can cross-reference to finally target the person you really want to reach. And every day WeChat is adding new criteria. So first way to do it, so to really have a very precise way to reach your audience. I will go fast on this. Is very classic presentation of a campaign where you see on the left-hand side all the traffic that will be coming. If you look at the top from your own platform, here it was Weibo, WeChat. The paid traffic with KOL, we still need KOLs still, but also from ads and social ads. So the moment ads on the I mentioned before. In the same way, we can use bottom ads. It's another way to do marketing on WeChat, and we use bottom ads with the same precision to have people to follow the account. And on the account, we had a lot of information driving back to this experience, so driving back to the own media. And then, of course, all the halo effect of the word of mouth. And then, so going to your HTML5 experience, and then, so we collect data, so we can do remarketing later on, we can collect information. You have to know that if we collect leads, even few leads for this kind of campaign, the ROI is incredible. Okay, and some numbers about the campaign. Here, what is not very important is to look at the total number. It's really to look at who actually we recruited. And again, in this campaign, we recruited potential buyers of watch with a retail value over 30K thousand euro. I will go fast on that. Can we go and be more precise? So here, if you use the moment ads, the standard format, so we can be very precise in terms of profiling, not very precise in terms of targeting. And more recently, which had added the LBS type of moment ads. And of course, we try to use it as an opportunity to be even more precise. And at this level, so we can still not actually have a precision of 1 or 2 miles radius, but we can actually target people in a specific district. For example, in Shanghai, we have the district of Jing'an, and in Jing'an, we have boutiques of Roger Dubuis. And so what we decided was to activate this specific type of ad during the Christmas season, where actually if you go to Shanghai, in Jing'an, you will see that there is a lot of foot traffic, people going to buy some gifts. So we activated a specific LBS ads during this moment. So you recognize the LBS ads because you see actually the distance from where you are to the boutique. And only the people in this radius, in this district, will see this ad. So here you had 1 minute to go to the boutique of Roger Dubuis, which is in Nanjinglu. Again, numbers are not so important, but 4 million impressions. We're talking about 4 million impressions on a very small radius. We're not talking about a big-scale campaign. And so if you are away from this district, you won't see the campaign. Can we be more precise than this? What do you think? Is it possible to be even more precise than a district? Yes? Of course, yes. So, yes, we can do it. So we can combine technology together. So with the social ads system of WeChat, we cannot go closer from this, but we can use other technology like iBeacon. So this is what we did. So we call usually this proximity marketing. So we did that during a special event, the SIHH in Switzerland. And so we placed iBeacon. We know, of course, that there is a lot of Chinese press coming. There's a lot of VIP clients coming. And we want to capture them. And, of course, we want to capture them with a WeChat experience. So this was in January. And so we had a lot of beacons. And so, again, we could target in a very precise moment, in a very precise radius, and a short time window, the person we wanted. In the same idea, and because again our clients are travelers, and we follow them, so we combine several approaches to target shoppers in Dubai. In Dubai, there is a lot of Chinese shoppers, and specifically a mall where there is a lot of sales coming from Chinese travelers. And so we wanted to activate some social activity based on WeChat. And here we used 2 ways of filtering them. There's a way that I call passive filtering. And what we saw before is active filtering. Active filtering, we go to reach this person through some tools. The passive filtering, people are filtering themselves. And on social media, the best way to do passive filtering is through the content. So you deliver a content, and we believe that the good content is a content that will please few people. While usually social media agencies think that the good content is a content that will please a lot of people. So we use the content to filter people, and here, so we had a specific editorial plan talking about Dubai and talking about what you can do around, and of course, people with interest could actually have a link to and to use a coupon to have a specific offer into the Dubai Mall. We also use social ads to target people visiting the Dubai Mall at this time. Okay, so moving forward, so this is already the past, right? So, and I used to say we have one past and several futures. So what will be the near future? For us, in our roadmap for this year, we have several topics that our clients and the industry, I think the luxury industry is going to work on. And usually we see a gap between all the trends that are announced and the real activity of the brands, the time they need to actually tackle these trends and include that into their strategy. So for us, we see 2 directions. One is going further to provide deeper experiences. One way is, of course, the next step of hyperlocal marketing is to convert your clients or your leads into clients. And when you're starting on WeChat, the best way is to keep the flow into WeChat. So this year, we work on a lot of what we call curated commerce through WeChat, where actually we're seeing that the good experience is not to provide the full inventory, but to provide a selection of product, sometimes exclusive product, so to continue the experience and drive some sales. Because we're talking about luxury, WeChat payment, usually the level is too low to be able to do the purchase, so we work on pre-ordering, for instance, and of course we have all the value of social media sharing features. Another aspect of what brands are looking at and what we are working at also this year with many clients is how we can bring a different experience on social shopping. One of them is a conversational shopping, through chatbot. Some brands started. This is a Hyperlocal chatbot with Messenger. And the way it works is so you start to follow an account. Usually when you start to follow an account, nothing happens. The beauty of chatbot, there is not a very strong AI technology behind chatbot, actually. But the beauty of that is when you start to follow an account, you trigger an event into the platform, so you can send a notification to the users and start a conversation. This conversation is automated, and then you can start to enrich the discussion, collect information from the consumer, and also drive the consumer to access some services. Another trend that is very strong for us also this year is more services. It takes a lot of time to actually really bring services on a smartphone because you need to link the front end of WeChat with the back end of your system. So we work on two directions. The first is how we match followers with existing customers. It seems to be extremely simple, but very few brands actually know who from their followers are actual customers and who from their customers are following their account still. Because you need to match systems. Another direction is how you can bind your online CRM, and now there's a lot of solution for WeChat CRM, what you call WeChat CRM, with your offline CRM and make omnichannel approach of your client relationship management. Again, this has been announced 1 or 2 years ago, but this is only this year that we see real project of companies launching online and offline CRM. If you take Roger Dubuis as an example, so the Richemont Group starting to develop all the WeChat backbone 2 years ago in order to one by one plug all the brands into the system. So we see usually a lead time which is at least 1 year, but sometimes 2 or more years between the trends and the reality. And another aspect of connecting online and offline CRM is connecting better the staff boutique with WeChat users. I guess you've heard about the WeChat enterprise account here. If we do a quick, many of you. We're starting actually to create the first, I think one of the very first WeChat enterprise account with Len Crawford 2 years ago. Probably they were an innovator, but this year that we see more and more projects around this. And basically the idea is to provide a WeChat account for your staff where you can deliver training, you can send information about the new product, the new collection, you can have sales target for the day, and you can create groups. And the most interesting is to have this WeChat enterprise account connected with the same backbone with your WeChat public account. So you can start to have your boutique staff to communicate with your clients through the platform. So we call that the multi-clienteling. And this is really the way we can potentially unlock all the features and all the possibility of WeChat. Okay, so I think time's up. Thank you for listening.